Good afternoon, Vatan. Thank you so much for having me on the show. How did I go from lawyer to children's book writer? It's kind of a long story. I practiced law for about 10 years as a trial lawyer, a litigator, and during that time I had children, and it became very difficult to practice law and be a mother at that time. So I decided to set aside my law practice to become a full-time mom. And then about a year ago, I decided to run the New York City Marathon. And I ran the marathon on November 7th, 2010.
Bravo.
And that experience changed everything for me. It redirected my life in many ways, professionally, to say the least. And writing children's books had always been a dream of mine, and I guess I could say that the marathon inspired me to fulfill that dream. And here I am today, a children's book author.
Tell me, there are 5 books you have written. I saw very, very colorful books. Tell me something about the books, and how do you decide on the topics, what inspires you, and how do you evaluate these? How has this been accepted by the people you know who purchased it?
Sure. Well, these are classic fairy tales retold with an Armenian twist. So what I did was I took 5 popular fairy tales, such as Jack and the Beanstalk, Little Red Riding Hood, The Gingerbread Man, The 3 Little Pigs, The 3 Bears, and I Armenianized them. And I did that by changing their storylines to incorporate and reflect Armenian culture and tradition. I set the stories in Armenian cities, such as Jermuk and Masis and Sevan. The illustrations portray the characters as having stereotypic Armenian traits. They've all got the dark hair, the bold eyes, the thick eyebrows. And the text itself, I decided to write in what I call Arm-English, which is English with Armenian words mixed in. And I did that so that the books would have universal appeal, in that, you know, all Armenian children, whether they can speak Armenian, read Armenian, one parent's Armenian or both are Armenian, all Armenian children can enjoy these books, can read these books, can benefit from these books. And that's why I chose to write the text the way I did. And each book, towards the end, comes with a pronunciation guide to help readers learn how to pronounce the words, and a glossary, which defines the Armenian words.
Could you just show me some of the books? I just saw the Karnuga. What are the other titles?
Yes, the titles are Hagop and the Hairy Giant, which is a retake of Jack and the Beanstalk. I have The 3 Little Karnugs, which is the Armenian version of The 3 Little Pigs. I've got Little Red Hood and the Kesh Kyle.
Kesh Kyle, I like that one.
Oh yeah, and he's Kesh. The Armenian version of Little Red Riding Hood. And in my version, the Kyle, the wolf, is not trying to eat Little Red Hood. He's trying to eat the lamajun in her basket. And I've also got the Gurabia Man, which is a retake of the Gingerbread Man.
That's good.
And finally, Voski and the Archugyans, which someone is actually reading in the studio. Let's not mention she's like 18. Oh no, she's 14.
Talene, you mentioned Armenian-English. Give us a couple words that fall in that category.
Really what it is, it's not really words, it's just phraseology. It's the sentences are written in English, but then I mix in Armenian words every other sentence or so. So for example, Hagop took his gov to the shuga, where he sold the gati. And so, like I was saying, that's very amenable for readers who don't speak Armenian, because they sort of know what the word's going to be without even having to look it up.
I was at a diner with a friend who did not speak or spoke English and Armenian, but he did not want the waitress to understand us. He says, "Ice waitress shadame." And she was not very happy to hear waitress dame.
But that sounds like Arm-English to me, for sure.
Tell me, what was the response from parents?
So far, the feedback has been overwhelmingly positive, particularly the parents of children who do not speak Armenian, particularly from parents of mixed marriages, where one parent is not Armenian and the other parent is, or where the parents themselves are Armenian but don't speak Armenian. It enables them to try to teach their children Armenian, to enjoy Armenian culture, to enjoy Armenian children's books without having to know the language.
You know, somewhere I read that you love your heritage and you want to keep it alive. Do you think this is on the right track?
I think so. I mean, everyone expresses that desire in their own way. For me, the most rewarding part of this book writing experience has been the knowledge that children are reading my books snuggled in their parents' arms before bed every night. That it's some of their favorite books. Some children, it's the only book they take on vacation. And for me to connect with the hearts and minds of Armenian children all over the world is the greatest reward. And even though my books are written in English with Armenian, it's still allowing for Armenian culture and language to continue, especially in those households where Armenian is not the first language. And in addition to that, I'm really hoping to use this book experience as a way to give back to the Armenian community. I've been involved in a couple charity book events so far, connected with my books. About a month ago, I conducted a book event, a fundraising event for St. Gregory Armenian School in White Plains. And we raised a decent amount of funds through the sales of my books, through the support of St. Gregory Armenian Church parishioners, the Armenian community in Westchester, and of course, St. Gregory Armenian School parent body. Just last week, I did a charity fundraising event for Camp Nubar. And we sold a lot of books, we had a lot of fun, and it was great for Camp Nubar, and of course, very good for me. And it's my hope that I'll be able to reach out to Armenian schools and nonprofit organizations all over the country to try to give back to the Armenian community in the best way I can through raising funds at these book events.
Talene, you are very well aware of the situation we're in and the concerns Armenian mothers have or families have with respect to the children upbringing as Armenians. What would you, looking back over when you grew up, what was missing then, or what did you not take with you as a young Armenian child, which you would like your daughter to take? What is your advice to Armenian mothers? That's all I want to say.
Well, I guess I could only answer to what I know. And my advice would be to the Armenian mothers and fathers of Armenian girls. And my advice would be, they can do anything that an Armenian boy can do. I came from a very traditional background. I have to admit, my grandparents and my parents tended to be a little old-fashioned in their thinking. And I think that, at least in that generation, it was always thought that, it's the boy that would carry on the torch of the family and not really the girl. And I don't think that's the case today. I think that Armenian families have grown and they've progressed, but my only advice would be never shortchange our daughters because they can do anything our sons can do, if not better.
Wow. I definitely agree with you, and nowadays, especially with the opportunities we have, definitely everything has turned upside down. But any final comments, Talene? It's really been exciting to talk to you. Very interesting the comments you have made.
Thank you so much, Vartan. I've had a lot of fun here today. I guess the only other thing I would add is if you are interested in seeing my books or buying my books, you can log on to my website at www.armeniankidsbooks.com. My books are also available on Amazon.com. My books are also being sold at Armenian retailers across the country, on the West Coast at Abril Bookstore, and on the East Coast at the Diocese, as well as Prelacy Bookstore. And I look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you very much. That was Talene Dadian White, the author of children's books, and we have all these information will be on our website as the program will get archived, and we will also have more information in our newsletter.